Today, I look forward to touching into sensitive topics that are heritage, topics that are very important to our humanity. And I've got an honorable guest in the studio. Romeo the Great Word, welcome to the SEC podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's an honor to actually be here.
Is it?
Yeah, and I've been watching.
The way you say you've been watching, it's like you've got pointers to give
No, no,
us
no,
so that
not
we
it's
can
not
go
really
back.
pointers. I think when I say I've been watching, it's one of those things where watching what they has already been done sort of just
Mhm,
gives direction to your decision to actually come or not,
mhm,
because the world has too many podcasts now, but
mhm.
you have to be, as a person, look at the ones that also serve your morals. So that's when I say I've been watching, I'm just saying it matches with who I am as a person. So
Mhm.
that's why I say it's an honor for me to actually finally be here.
Before I talk about your art, because people know your art, I want to talk to you as Romeo the Great White,
Okay.
a gentleman living with albinism,
Yep.
because that's a very important cause to me. I'm an activist,
Okay.
mainly because of the way the community has been receiving hits with paging and everything. So I just grew up with that love
Okay.
for the community of people living with albinism. How has it been for you as a child growing up
I
in
think
Venda?
I think number one, big shout out to you for saying it right. It's
Mm-hmm.
people living with albinism. I
Okay.
think that is the first lesson for everybody, how to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Growing up, I think I was just privileged to have the family I've had all my life. They've been very, they've been understanding, and they've educated themselves in understanding what, sorry, what it means to be a person living with albinism, the different challenges with the sun and such.
Mm-hmm.
So, as much as obviously as a child you are going to go through bullying, that's just a given. Just that unfortunately, when you are different, you tend to go through a bit more of it than when you are just like everybody else. I went through it, unfortunately, or unfortunately for me, but I think it was also a teaching moment for everybody else that was around me to better understand what it means to be a person with albinism and how you can better be acquainted with such without being stereotypically bullying or anything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was hard but good at the same time. So yeah.
When you say it was hard, was it all out bullying, or you think it was your age mates not understanding the person you are?
I think I'll probably do it as a two pointer. It was firstly not understanding what a person living with albinism is for my age mates. But I think it was also all out bullying when it was different parents that didn't
Older
understand.
people.
Yeah, because when you don't understand something, you try so hard to demean it or to put it down until such time where you think that's what you understood it as being. So yeah, there was bullying on all fronts, but I guess with, like I said, with the family I grew up with, they helped me so much to better understand myself and better love myself as well, and also take the bullying as nothing but not understanding what I am in the community.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Let's take me back to Romeo, the young boy who
Yeah.
was probably 6, 7 years old and 8 years old
Hmm.
and playing around the streets of Ramondo, where you
Yeah.
grew up with
Yeah.
other kids. Did you feel a need to get out of the yard and play with other kids, or you were that kind of kid who always wanted to be indoors?
No, definitely. I was outside. I was outside. Outside.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say a big learning for even me, I didn't know that I shouldn't be in the sun. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of sunburn growing up. If you look at me, there's spots here
Mm-hmm.
on my hand and on my face.
Mm.
That's results of severe sunburns that I went through because of the fact that I didn't understand, and coming from a place where access to sunscreens and such was not as easy because sorry, when you talk about sunscreen in those day and age, I think it was your SPF 15 that you would get at a clinic. That didn't do much for my skin. We are both from Venda. You know how hot that sun can get. So growing up, I was outside, but I had to learn very quickly that a hat was my big friend. Yeah, a hat, a lot of sunscreen, and trying by all means to play under the shade. Because as much as there was bullying from my age mates, there was also love from the other age mates that I grew up with, right? I was a soccer fanatic. We played soccer almost every single day, if it was not school time. And yeah, sun was my enemy, and I never knew until I really had to go to it. Actually, I went to a hospital one time when I had severe sunburn because knowing me, I was playing outside. When I felt like I was a bit hot, then I splashed some water on my face, not knowing that actually it attracts more sun to you. And yeah, I think it was a good childhood. I can put it like I can just summarize it like that.
So your family had to adjust to making sure that they take care of your special needs, like making sure that your skin is always intact.
Not adjusting, they just had to teach themselves what it means to have a child with albinism. Because as much as they didn't understand it at first, they never treated me differently. Initially, I was just another kid in the family, treat you the same way. But obviously, as time goes, you have to quickly learn what it means to have a child that needs consistent sunscreen and a hat at all times. So yeah, they had to learn very quickly. That's why I'm saying they didn't really need to adjust. It was more they needed to learn who their child was. Yeah.
Now here you are, you're growing up and you're going to primary school. Do your parents go to school to talk to the teachers who are going to be guiding you on what is important to take care of or pay attention to?
So thankfully, my dad was in a space where he could understand better what it means to be a person with albinism. So I went to a boarding school that was specialized in people who were different. I went to Chirizini Special School. It's in Shandima, so they knew that I needed sunscreen. They didn't. My dad didn't. Probably learned more from that school than he would have if I never went there.
Then how was your experience at Chirizini?
No, it was great. I think the best thing he ever did for me, my dad, was as much as I was in a boarding school, he also still made sure that I mingled with the outside. So every Friday, I would go home, play with my friends that I had home. And then on the Sunday or on the Monday morning, I'll go back to school and play with everybody that is either like me, some are partially sighted, some are totally blind, some are physically impaired, some were deaf. There was different types of person, but it got me to appreciate more who I was, looking at every other challenge that other people faced and were still smiling about it. Yeah.
So usually when you were a young boy and growing up living with albinism, which was challenging for your skin and your eyesight, what was it to how challenging was it to you to have to deal with the problem of a challenge of a skin and an eyesight, which you needed to use to to process a lot of things?
I think I'm probably one of the, I would call it, fortunate few that as much as they say being a person with albinism comes with short-sightedness, I still can see what I need to see. So I wouldn't call it a challenge as such. I think the biggest challenge was just the fact that me and the son were not on the
We're not
same
friends.
WhatsApp. No, we're not in the same WhatsApp group. That was that was a bad thing. The sun showed me flames growing up.
You know, let us track back to our community, the vendor community. There are certain things that I find very challenging
Okay.
and that I find as, triggering for me.
Mm.
It was when we were growing up ourselves, we used to be told that people live with albinism. They don't die, but ongarangara. Only to find out telling those tales has to do with a lot of evil practices than, evil practices and myths that has to do with the dark world.
Mm.
How do you navigate that kind of world that, people decided to create for you without, your knowledge or your say so?
So, because I was as young as I was, didn't really understand it as much, right?
Mhm.
But as I grew and became more knowledgeable, I still understood that people had that stigma in their heads. It didn't really sink in until I was at a place where a person who was living with albinism was unfortunately killed because of such, right?
Mhm.
Then
Mhm.
I got to realize that people really do take this not dying thing very seriously,
Mhm.
and they're taking it to the extremes now, which made me a lot more cautious
Mhm.
um, about who I surround myself with or where I am at all times. So it just became one of those, make sure that you live a life that is safe, and you are still going to be able to go out and come home in one piece.
Mhm.
It's sad because to this date there's people that still believe that,
Mhm.
even though you probably have seen countless times when a person has passed away. I mean, how you teach your children to still believe that, because unfortunately knowledge is passed on. You can't tell me that you grew up believing in something, and then somebody told you no, actually this is wrong, but your kids still believe the same thing.
Mhm.
That means there was a break in communication there that you never actually filled.
Mhm.
So yeah, it is sad, but unfortunately, in the climate we live in right now, you can try by all means to advocate that actually this is not correct. There'll still be a few that will believe that, and they will influence other things. Yeah.
Mhm. Living this kind of life whereby you're a child living with albinism
Mhm.
and there is euphoria going around you and people saying different things about you, some of them which we know are not true but
Mhm.
are just influenced by dark spaces.
Mm.
How do you present day as a well-known and an established artist
Mhm.
advocate for children living with albinism, growing up in villages where people are ignorant, where people are just ready to milk and patch them?
So the sad part about what you just asked me is, even people living with albinism are probably triggering that, in the sense that the fact that somebody said something and you still say it, and you make it sound like it's content.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who else you're hurting with that,
Mm-hmm.
because unfortunately the world is on social media now, which means everybody is watching. You can say something thinking you're joking, and you thinking it applies to you only, but you need to think about the fact that you are one in a few of people that are living with albinism. What are you saying about the coming generation if you are letting, or you are co-signing people using derogatory words or conversation to, in a way, bully you, and you are saying that's okay?
Mm-hmm.
It is still going to be very hard to get to a point where people are saying things that are actually correct and purging everything that is not, because even the people that are victims are using that very derogatory conversation to somehow create content or to somehow be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've currently been seeing online, where people are using those derogatory words that were used against them to say they are making content, and they are okay with people saying that.
Mm-hmm.
I can be okay with somebody bullying me, but that does not mean they're not bullying the next child
Mm-hmm.
with the same words that I said was okay. Yeah.
Because I look at it now and I say, much as society is driven by ignorance, when we were growing up,
Mm.
generally, there was boom, Bomme Maria, she was a woman living with albinism. We attended, apostolic faith mission with her. She was a dedicated woman of religion. We saw people like your Rabson Biru,
Yeah.
Rabuani. Those are people who advocated for their cause so that people can know how important they are to society, because the society we live in was a society that when we were growing up, these are people who are going to be paged just for who they are and be used for, like I said, as I indicated, for the things in the dark world. Present day, do you think in and around Venda there is a certain, there's an embrace of people living with albinism, or there is still that stigma and stereotyping?
So I love my vendor people for the fact that they embrace their own, right? But there's always going to be that one space where that embrace is not. Everywhere else, you'll find that we are showing love to everybody equally without thinking this person is this person is that. But there's always going to be, because I can never say 200% or 100% all of a space is loving a certain person, right? But there's always going to be a large number of people that show love. It's always that very small percentage that get us to go to a place where love is not shown. Yeah.
And how do you navigate that? How do you navigate that as a person, as a grown up man now with a baby? How do you navigate that?
I teach where I can. Whoever gets to conversate with me will know what it is to be a person living with albinism, and obviously to get move away from treating each other different. Get to a place where you don't see color, you only see a person. I do that for the people that are around me. I do that for anyone that ever has a question about being a person living with albinism. And obviously, I try to teach that to my daughter as well, because she's not a person living with albinism. I just want her to grow up and only see her father, not not a person living with albinism. Yeah.
Having said that, teaching and raising awareness in family setups, with your child as a father, in, friendship setups, in communities where we are growing up, do you get to appreciate, maybe if we were to look at the work the government of maybe the country is doing to raise awareness with people living with albinism, as well as to make sure that they get the aid they need to assist them with the challenges they get?
Hey, that is a that's a hard one, to be honest with you. I appreciate anyone that sticks up for anyone. So for me, when I say sticks up for anyone, we know bullying is in all forms, either for people living with albinism or for anyone, right? But I very much appreciate when I see work done to teach or to move away from the stigmatization of people living with albinism. That I see what the government does. It's always refreshing when you see other people with albinism also advocating for such, right? Because it's always that thing of you want people to talk about something when you're not talking about it. So for me, it's if you want the world taught how to better understand you, it starts with you. You need to be the one that takes charge of that teaching, because the world can do everything. They can do all the marches, they can do whatever they need to do, until such person who it actually directly affects also puts up their hand. We are still stuck at stage one. Yeah.
And how does that influence your artistry?
um in a way that I do it is I look at current affairs, right? Especially if it's going to be a topic that touches on being a person living with albinism, to try and showcase that you can be anything. You can do anything that anybody else can do, even better sometimes, right? Um, without ever having to think, oh, Konje, I'm a person living with albinism, because that's literally just that. It's literally just a title. It doesn't define you. It's not who you are. It is just something that you were born with, right? You were born a person living with albinism. You shouldn't use that as whether to discourage yourself or feel some type of way, because at the end of the day, we are all people. And if you remember what God said when he said we are all made equal in his image. So regardless of what color you believe you are, if you believe you are just a human being, you are a human being. Whatever that Precious can do, Romeo can do. Whatever what Romeo can do, Precious can do. We shouldn't ever think about it as something that I have to think about it constantly. Because to be honest with you, the only time I ever think about it is when we have to have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Or when it's too hot and I need to put sunscreen on. Then I'll be like, my skin is not allowing me to be here.
I'm forgetting.
Yeah. That is the only time
Yeah.
it ever becomes, oh, I'm a person living with albinism. Other than that, doesn't even ring a bell to me. Yeah.
You're an artist, a
Yes, I am.
well-established artist.
Thank you.
What does your art mean to you, and how do you transform it to society in a way when they look into your catalog and your EPs? It inspires who they are as a people.
So my catalog is self, how do I put this word now? It's more of a Bible for me than anything else, right? It's all life experiences that I probably would have faced or I've seen, that I would want somebody else to look at these situations, put themselves in those shoes and see how they dealt with that. So my catalog will never be about let's go party or let's have a good time only. I want you to have a good time and still learn something. I want you to be happy or sad and learn something still. Because that's how I would have been feeling when I was writing whichever song it may be.
Where did you source your mad vocals from? Because you've got very mad vocals.
So I am a true I call myself a true African. By that I mean I listen to anything African. I don't discriminate. I listen to rumba music. I listen to reggae. I listen to all types, traditional music. As long as it talks to my soul, it somehow will re-emerge in a song that I'm making. When I say re-emerge, I get very inspired by the different songs that your Peter Net made, who was a Tsonga artist, your Amunvura makes, your Zozo makes. Those songs are very African. And they speak to me as an African from deep within my soul. So however I put together vocals, it's always something that is sort of motivated by what the world of African music sounds like. Even when I decide to make a gospel song, for instance, I look up to so many gospel artists in the continent. It's not even funny, and they inspire me on a very deep level where music becomes a healing for me. So if you and I were sitting here and I had my studios set up, probably would have just made a song already because of how anything inspires me as long as it speaks to me into my soul. Yeah.
When did you know that you can sing?
It's funny. I was in primary school. The school choir conductor, she was also my grade 1 teacher, if I'm not mistaken. We were singing at assembly. You know this assembly in the morning.
Yeah.
They make you sing. We're singing there, and then she came to me. I think you should join the school choir. I was the shortest of person you can ever find. People won't believe this, but I was very skinny at that time. I had a big head.
You were still eating organic. Now you eat everything processed.
So I was just one of those kids, man, that just loved singing. I didn't know whether I was on key or not, but I was singing. And then she said I should join the choir. think literally from that day on, I never stopped.
So your starting point was gospel music,
Not gospel music, choir, if I could put
choir,
that.
choir
Yeah, because
music.
literally after that very encounter with my teacher, I think her name was Botangari.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, from that time, then my sister became one of those people that loved. My sister loves music,
mhm,
but specifically old R&B music.
mm,
So she
mm,
would come back from varsity with mad CDs.
mm, mm,
So as much as I loved singing in the choir, I also now started loving this music,
mm, mm.
and I also wanted to rendition what I was listening to, which is what you get to hear in the songs that I make. It sounds R&B-ish, but very African because the sounds that inspire me are still from here.
Mhm. Which brings me the question: Why? What is your category of music? Would you say you do funk, Afro pop? What kind of music would you say that you do? Do you have a specific genre that you focus on?
Um, that'll be a lie. Hey, I don't wanna.
Mm,
I call it emotional music
mm,
because every song I make is emotional,
mhm,
especially if it's my song, not somebody else's song, but my song.
mhm,
99% of the songs I make are very emotional.
mhm,
Because I'm in touch with my inner self, and I try to put together scenarios that I've lived through or I believe somebody might be living through, so that it can somehow in any way heal somebody somewhere else. If I can make a song here and the two of you leave this room and you said that just reminded me of a situation I went through and it just healed me,
mhm,
I've done my job.
mhm.
That's why it sounds the same the way it sounds now.
To me, the way you're putting it sounds like your message is designed to heal people.
Yes, that's very correct.
Why is that?
I guess I always look at the world as a place that needs healing. Um, it also helps me heal myself, right? As much as like I said, as much as I had a family that showed me love, like in buckets and trucks, obviously bullying gets to you at some point, and unfortunately, that sticks with you
Mm,
throughout time. And I use music as my way of dealing with such. But I also believe that my experience was not uniquely designed for me. How whatever I may be going through today, somebody may go through tomorrow,
mhm,
and we find healing in the same song.
mhm,
So when I say I want you to feel and heal somehow with my music, is I know everything I've gone through as a person, somebody else might just be starting to go through that. They'll probably find a song in my catalog that talks to that.
mhm,
I mean, I've seen comments that to this date I don't understand how I, just a boy from Romondo, Dusty area, got to create something that talked somebody off the ledge, if for a lack of a better word.
mm, mm,
Stuff like that is just is inspiring. You get to see how much as you don't see it, how much your message is for the world.
mhm.
Yeah.
So, what inspires the lyrical content itself? Because you would go through a process whereby artists will say that I've got a muse, others have got muses that assist them in the lyrical content itself. What's the thought process of the
So
lyrics that you write?
I have different muses, to be honest with you.
Mm,
If it's happy, love, and all of those things, probably is mostly my daughter or my partner or
mm,
my family,
mm,
the people that are surround me with that kind of energy.
mhm,
But if it's painful, or if it's, yeah, mostly if it's painful, probably is a situation I went through or something that somebody said to me that as much as I could give them advice in any way, it didn't feel like I had the right words until I was in the studio creating that.
mhm,
So different situations, literally this conversation could be an inspiring moment, and it changes from just a conversation with you into an actual song.
mhm.
Yeah.
So, how do you handle a situation whereby have you ever find yourself in a situation whereby somebody asks you to write them a verse for the music?
Yeah.
And how do you handle that?
So obviously everyone, when they create, they have an idea of why they're creating. That's my first question. Why is this song? Immediately when I understand why that song is, then I can try it by all means to channel you in me, if I can put it, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So if Precious wants to create a song that is about love, for instance, and she's talking about love for her parents, I think I start thinking, what would I say if it was my parents?
Mhm.
So putting myself in your shoes or in your song as if it's mine helps me navigate how that song needs to sound like for me. And then when I present it to you, you either will tell, sorry about that, you'll tell me what we need to change, or we fix it on the fly to make sure that it is according to how you feel,
Mhm.
so that it doesn't feel like Romeo wrote it, it feels like you wrote it.
Mhm.
Sorry about that. It was my, just wanted to put it on for never bother me again.
These things are like that.
Yeah.
They're always like that. You have to put it there, otherwise it's one
There
of
we go.
those. So tell me, how does is there a chance that albinism
Mhm.
and living with albinism, influence and inspires your creative thought process?
No, no, it does a lot actually. So take my name for instance. The name is Romeo the Great White.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most people don't understand why that is, but I look at it this way.
Mm-hmm.
In the industry as a whole right now, right? And I'm gonna be specific to just music. Other than Romeo the Great White, who else do you know in the country that is operating at the level that Romeo the Great White is?
No.
So for me, the Great White symbolizes uniqueness,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Being able to do things that everybody else thinks are for a certain type of person, but you're doing it on the same level or even better.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go and you look at it this way, in the ocean, the most dangerous thing that you will find is a great white shark.
Yeah.
And they are very rare to find.
Mm-hmm.
In the jungle, they will always say anything white, white rhinoceros, white lion, all of these things that they call white in the jungle are uniquely not exactly found everywhere. That's why you'll hear that there's unfortunately poaching of white rhinos.
Mm-hmm.
There was a sighting of a white lion after a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I used those synergies to come back to who I am is you won't find any person that does it like me.
Mm-hmm.
You will probably think you did find, but you won't, because I am uniquely designed to be the first person that is saying, I'm a person living with albinism, but what you do, I can do better.
Mm-hmm.
That's how albinism has always inspired me, is that I might be starting 10 steps back because you look at me differently, or you stigmatize,
Or look down.
yeah, or you look down. But let's go studio time for studio time.
Mm.
By the end of that studio session, you probably will be asking me, how can I get a collab from you?
Mm-hmm.
Because I I just believe in myself so much that I know in any situation, I will always be that person that you can say, you know what, I've never seen anybody that looks like him and does what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And Great White itself, you will look at it in the ocean, you'll be like, wow, that's a beautiful creature. And I will probably never see it again.
Mm-hmm. When I came in here, I called you the Great White Shark.
Yes, you did.
Talk to me about how that and how albinism influencing your creative touch and creative style. Which doors has it opened for you? How many doors?
um my So I'm going to talk about it this way. My creativity has opened so many doors for me that I don't believe I would have reached if I was operating at a we are all the same in a way. If I was thinking I can do the bare minimum and I'll get somewhere. I mean, I don't know if it was anything else, but I got to be on 70 Lan.
Oh, Sevedalan.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I actually performed on an episode of 70 Land. It was Human Rights Day. I mean, I've done collaborations with Dax from the States. Those all came out of because of the creativity that I bring to the table, right? And I'm so happy that I can do that to show everybody else that regardless of how you look like, or your background, or how people stigmatized you, you can do great things. You can be the biggest that anybody has ever seen, simply because you believe in yourself and you use that negative energy that they throw at you as fuel. Because trust me, you will get a negative energy everywhere. It could be that you put something up that is so beautiful, there'll be that one comment that will just dim down everything. But I take that and I use that as fuel, because as much as I want to prove myself right, I don't mind the fact that people will think, oh, maybe it's not great. And then I do something and then you'll be like, maybe I was lying to myself. He is great. Yeah.
So in a way that you're putting it, that would mean that negativity and GS literally fuel your fire
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah. I think so many look at people with albinism as underdogs in spaces. But you look at the amazing things that we're doing, man. There's too many of us out there that are flourishing, that so many people thought wouldn't. And here you are, now you're looking at the person that you thought would be just another statistic,
Average person.
killing it, doing amazing things that you, with everything that you believe you have, are unable to do.
Now that's on God.
Yeah.
People living with albinism are God's people. We are all
Yeah.
God's people. Literally, we are all God's people.
Definitely.
Tell me, you spoke of Dax. Dax is a very big artist.
Yes.
And your collaborations, how did that come to be? How did you start collaborating with Dax?
So, firstly, I always tell people that God has a hand in everything, right? When that happened, I had just literally started on TikTok. I was my numbers were growing, but somehow I got a chance to do an open verse challenge that he had put up.
Okay.
And I don't know what God was on that day, but that thing blew up, like really blew up. And I guess when something
You got into traffic and got hit.
yes, like literally, like literally.
Don't play in traffic.
Like literally, I did it now, and I came back 5 hours later, and it was what everybody else was watching. And I knew that was happening when I started seeing it on my own For You page, when people were now tagging me, creating their own reactions to it. And then Dex reacted. That just now sent it all the way up.
Created a wave.
Right? And fortunately, man, I did a couple more, and I think that's when he really saw that, no, this dude is on a different level. Then they reached out. We did a few collabs, it was amazing. And hopefully one day, well, not even one day, but hopefully in the future we'll do more. Because I love the energy he presents. He presents the giving shine without wanting to feel bigger than the other, right? He will give you all the floor to be, your greatness. And I've always appreciated people like that. And as much as I didn't expect it from an artist of his size, because he is a big artist, he gave me that platform to just be me, he didn't even, because my verses always have Venda in it. I'm a true believer that wherever I go, I must put my people in there somewhere. And with the grace that he brought, he never said take this out. He wanted to keep it in there. All he wanted to do was understand what it meant.
Because Dex did Dear God, right? He
Yes,
did
he
Dear
did.
God.
Yes.
Judge, other than Dear God, can you please check one of the big songs that he ever did, as well as check the songs that you collaborated with him on?
Mhm.
How well did they do?
The last time, okay, so we did a song called "To Be a Man."
Mhm.
The last time I checked, it was probably over 20 million views.
Whoa,
On this is just on YouTube. So
that's huge.
if YouTube is that, probably Spotify is another 10, 20 million.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we did another one called God's Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that also has somewhere around that ballpark. I
Mm-hmm.
could be lying, could be more.
Mm.
But yeah, those are the. It was very amazing to see those just grow the way they did, and the different comments. You know, because of the fact that he did when he does a remix, he puts a couple of people in there, maybe 3 or 4, right?
Mhm.
And you find people going specific verse to specific verse, and then you'll find people asking, "Hey, where is this great word from?
Mm.
Amazing verse, bruh."
Mm.
And you then start thinking, Pella, this now opens so many other eyes that were not, looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
It was a surreal moment. I don't want to lie to you.
Mm-hmm. So, what was the feedback like from him after you did the collaborations? You said it's 3 songs, right?
No, it's 2
2 songs.
officially. Yeah,
So,
we did 2.
what was the feedback like from him and his team?
No, they Shem. I don't want to lie to you. The guys are great, and they give you honest feedback, and the feedback was always amazing because of the fact that I was authentic. I didn't try to be something else. I didn't try to be somebody else. I stayed uniquely me. And they loved exactly what I was bringing to the table because it was both new to them and unheard of, and something that you, as much as you didn't understand a part of it, you'd want to still listen.
So, it was the authenticity.
Yeah, it was authentic music throughout.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I always believe, rather be authentic than try to create things that the world will love without actually loving you back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because now, when we're talking and you're doing collaborations with artists like Dex, that would mean then you're on the internet. Do you think that you're on the international stage? Do you think your authenticity is the one that catapulted you into that international
Most definitely.
stage?
I think I've in a way trialed and tested it to understand what it may be. I don't it doesn't matter what kind of song it will be. I'll stay authentically myself. So from how I put together vocals, my backings, how I create rooms in the pockets that I create, you will still get that, regardless of whether it's Chris Brown that's on the song or somebody else. I make sure that authentically you can hear there is no one that is doing it exactly like Romeo the Great White.
Are you manifesting and channeling Chris Brown's energy your
Hey, it would be
direction?
amazing. Don't even play like that. My life would
He's
have
my
changed.
boy. He's my boy. I have to play like that.
My life would have changed if ever by any. People don't understand the magnitude of that man.
He's huge.
And I'm not talking huge as in like a star or anything. I'm talking about the music that he presents. Amazing talent.
George, you were saying?
I think the biggest song, like, or maybe the most famous song from Dax is "Dear God."
Yes,
Yes, I know.
yes.
Yeah,
That's
but
We
at
all
the-
found him there.
Yeah, but at the moment, I think "Lonely Dead Road" is
Lonely Dead Road is doing amazing as well.
Dex has been doing well, and I think he's also at a graduate. He's done some he's an academic.
I've
as
seen.
well.
I've seen.
He's an academic as well. So his music is a very spiritual person.
I think if you even if you listen to his messaging, man,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
doesn't just make songs for the sake of. He advocates for mental health, for men's health. He advocates for everything. I mean, he did a song called "Dear Alcohol" that was also very amazing. That's where I literally, him and I sort of, our roads sort of came
Collided,
together,
yeah.
because that's when I did the open verse challenge with the one that was called "Dear Alcohol," and he was like, "What?" So from that moment forward, I was like, dude, I need to follow and listen to what he does more. And not because he threw a shout at me, or because he gave me a chance to be on a song, but because I loved the messaging behind his music. because it's very emotional. Even you, if you listen to it properly, you'd hear, man. He's speaking to your spirit in a way. Yeah.
Because with artists like Dex and you coming together, your world colliding, you'll say that God has decided for you to be in the same space because your message is not all about, alcohol and booze and popping champagne, but the messaging is very clear. You want the youth to be conscious of themselves.
Definitely. I think we, in this day and age, we don't find areas to be emotional or to cry as people, because right now the current state says, firstly, it says men don't cry. It says men are strong. It doesn't give you an opportunity
Don't be strong for anyone.
No, the thing is, but I'm just,
when it's time,
you understand?
go for it.
I'm just giving you how people look at it. They don't care about you as a person. They care more about what they get to see. They perceive you as to be. So because his music allows you to just be in your feelings if you want to. I took that direction long ago, before we even met, to only find out that as much as he is hip hop and I make this music, they sort of are on the same bridge, walking together. It might not be on the same magnitude, but it is walking the same path. Yeah.
Having said that, other than Dex, because Dex is international, let us not categorize him under the African artists. George, you were saying?
Yeah, Dax studied at Newman University in Wichita, Kansas. Yeah, and I went to also to Casper College and the University of Montana. So he's learned.
Yeah, he's a learned guy. He's an academic.
People like that are amazing. You see what they're doing, and I I love how people sometimes look at a person from a face value perspective.
Yeah.
Where they don't really do like a deep dive, right? They don't look at who the actual person is behind everything else that they do. You find that people are philanthropic, they're doing amazing work in the communities, but we don't talk about that because they don't put that out. And you only talk about the good you see on social media, or the bad that you see on social media. It just shows that, because a lot of people don't even know that part about him, right?
Yeah.
But they know he's an amazing hip hop artist, and that's it. If he does it, he never said that he was Nigerian, you would have never known he's from Nigeria, right? But you look at him and you think, amazing artist, big hip hop artist. And obviously, because we always put people in certain pockets because of what they do, you keep him there.
Yeah, you keep people in boxes.
Yeah.
Having said that, having collaborated with a big artist like Dex, is there any other artist in the African continent that you can say, this artist I would like to do a killer collaboration with?
African continent, sorry. I did a song with Senior Oat. Senior Oat is a deep house. I don't know if it's deep house gospel, because it's called It Is Well With My Soul, the song. He's in touch with his spiritual side, if I can put it like that. If you look up Senior Oat, almost every song he's made is very spiritual. So I got the opportunity to work with him on something. It's called, the song was amazing, to be honest with you. African continent, sorry. A person like a Davido, for instance. Right?
Yeah.
A person like, or a group like P Square, for me. I'd even take it even further. I'd say like a General Muska. He made a lot more Tsonga music. Those are people that I wish I had been a musician at the time when Munvura was still on this earth, because amazing man. Musically, he was one of the most creative people I knew. And South African, I really wished I had gotten an opportunity to work with Keenan Forbes.
Yeah.
One of my most favorite artists ever. I think, man. I think I don't want to say it. I don't want to put it back to home, because I think I've done too many. I've worked with a lot of them that I wanted to work with when I came into the industry. I wanted to work with Ramsey. I've done that. I wanted to work with Mizo. I've done that. I wanted to work with your Physis and them. I've done that. So it's more now both in the country and the whole continent. Salif Keita, those are giants.
That will be a collabo and a half.
Those are giants. I worked with Zozo. That was also another dream that I had, which with God's timing, it came into fruition. So I'm grateful with what the continent has, and I wish, with His guidance, I get to touch the different areas. I get to work with these people that I've always seen as amazing. Yeah.
You talk about being grateful for the continent and what it has. What does the continent have?
The continent is very cultural, is very rooted in culture, if I can put it like that. Everywhere you go in the continent, that welcomes you regardless. Like right now, if you go to, I'll put Venda up there, right? If you go to Venda right now, it might not be happening at the same time. There's always something cultural happening. It may be a Chikona dance somewhere, because I love the rhythm that Chikona has. You can go to any Tsonga area, you will find a Makwaya, a Shibelane, even the modern music that the Pedi guys make, the Linkompo. If you listen to it properly, it's rooted in culture, that the cultural music that they used to make back in the day, right? They just modernized it, obviously. And then you listen to your Maskandi. Right now, Maskandi is no, but then it's modernized. I mean, if you listen to Black Diamond music, for instance, they have all the elements of Maskandi in everything that they do, which is very fascinating, because I don't know anywhere in the country where a guitar can be played like the Maskandi guys do.
No, like you have to give it to the Zulu artists when it comes to both vocals and the guitar.
Sure, I don't know.
They've got mad vocals, and they play a guitar, an acoustic guitar especially.
Exactly.
So I look at them playing and strumming on top of a guitar, and I'm going, this does not look like, it looks out of this world.
And then you go to like Afrobeat, for instance, right? Afrobeat is a Nigerian thing.
Yeah.
You can get Afrobeat music made from everywhere else. It will never sound like the ones
in Nigeria.
Those guys have a way, man. Like, even from how they pronounce certain words in there.
I think it's the wording of the lingua they use. They call it what, Nigerian Pidgin English. It's the wording of the lingua plus the traditional languages.
If I was to ever come back as somebody that was rich, I was getting myself a Pidgin tutor so that I can be fluent, because that language is amazing.
Yeah, it's dope. They've created a dope culture with it. It's a lingua that the artists, they fuse it very well. Because I listen to artists like Fuso G, and I listen to artists like Davido is one of my favorite artists, more especially that song Aye. Yeah, the way it's coined, the fluidity that goes into it, and you go, wow, they've captured something, and they ran with it.
I mean, if I was to bring it back home, like if you listen to like I call it private school piano, right? What Kabza the small makes, it's very spiritual, but you can hear, man, you can't find that kind of sound anyway. That's how I listen to music, like your Colbert Mukwebo music, right? As much as it's reggae, it's not just reggae, it's Venda reggae. Like you can hear yourself
in the culture.
So when I say this continent has a lot to offer, because of the fact that I'm an artist, I always look at from a cultural perspective, man. We derive so many things from the different cultures that we come from, and we put it into the world in the form of music, where as much as you are listening to it and you are happy and you're dancing to it, if you were to go to its roots, where they started it from, or if you were to go to like a Zim where the rumba music is from, you will hear, man, that as much as I'm listening to it when it's now nationally, recognized. If I was to go back and listen to the music that no one plays, but you'll find in that area, you'll hear the germs in how it sounds, how it connects people. Because sometimes you just play music not even for that you want to dance or anything, but you want to connect with the people from wherever that comes from.
Because when you're saying that, it brings me back to Chris Martin of Coldplay. He says that his music and guitar is influenced by Zimbabwe because that's where he was raised. And you listen at Coldplay in the international stage and how Coldplay is such a thing with African people. African people love Coldplay. They play rock music. It was that guitar that drew them towards Coldplay and Chris Martin.
For me, it's like Tsonga music for me, right? You can go everywhere, but the way a Thomas Chauke played the guitar, profound. And because I grew up in a space where all languages were spoken, my best friend was Tsonga. He's Tsonga. His name is Masingit. We did a swap. I'll teach you Venda, you teach me Tsonga. That just gave me the platform to also listen to what Tsonga music sounded like. And I can tell you right now, no better place to listen to music than in Africa.
Like Tsonga music is a privilege to listen to because when we were growing up, the Tsonga artists were the best artists in the country.
That's true.
By the way.
That's true. I mean, your Penny Pennies, your Joe Shirimani, Shinyori Sisters.
Tsonga music has always hit.
I had
too.
Back to back. I could listen to Tsonga music the whole day.
Up, we listen to Tsonga music, like literally, it was the music that we listened to.
So I grew up on Tsonga music, Amunvura, and a lot of Zozo and Sengera. That was what my dad listened to a lot more. So it made me realize that sounds are sounds. You can put them in anything. It just you need to have, as a person, have the capabilities to be creative enough to make something that shouldn't be on a certain type of instrument fit there. Yeah.
What's your favorite instrument?
Me, voice.
You don't go. You just go for the voice straight.
I think because of the fact that it can do more than just sing one note, it has always been voice for me. So right now, if you go listen to like a Brandy, for instance, Brandy from the States.
No wood.
Yeah. If you listen to her songs, you can hear the layers of voice that are in there more than just the instrument could be standard, but the voice will make you want to. The voice is the most attractive thing in a song if it's done right. Like, for instance, if you listen to Maiwashe from Rumba Pitch, that dude's voice is on a different level. I don't know anyone that sings like that. But because he understands that that's the most important instrument in a song, he makes sure that you are captivated and taken by the voice more than just the instrument. So that's why voice is my most important and favorite instrument.
Having said that, you look at the music that has influenced you. You were influenced by Tsonga music. You were influenced by Amon Mvura. You were influenced by Zozo and the Sengeri Superbeat. Zozo is one of the legendary people of the landscape of music of Southern Africa.
True.
And the stage performance, wow. Whenever Zozo is on stage, he gives it his all. Having grown up listening to the legendary Dr. Colbert Mukwebo, how do you incorporate that into your own packaging?
So I believe in bringing the old into the new. So, for instance, right, there's a song by Omunvura called that says Mudini Wanoni Ambangane. I did that. I did a different version of that very song, right? Obviously, what I do is bring in the new into what you already existed. I did Erewanga, the same song that Zozo had. I just brought in the new into the old, right? But the best part about Erewanga is that I actually got Zozo to also be part of the song. So as much as I was bringing the new, I also brought back the old into it. So however I can pay homage to the people that raised me musically, I find ways to do that.
How was it working with Zozo on the remaking of Ere, which is probably one of his most popular songs?
So I did it as a TikTok. It was not even supposed to be a song, to be honest with you. I did it as a TikTok, put it out there, but then somehow his manager sends me a text to say, "Hey, Zozo loves that song." Now, because he loves it, now it has to be a song. So I was like, if I make it a song, would he mind being on the song with me?
Of course not.
And they said he'll come back to me. I think on the day he called me, I got called today that he wants to get on the song today. So we made plans. He came to the house. We played around with it. I love the fact that he also allowed me to give him ideas on how to put together what we were putting together. And then it was a very exceptional experience. I remember my mom even came and said, "Is that the real Zozo?"
It's like, yo, my son is working with Zozo.
I'm like,
she was starstruck.
I'm like, yeah. He's like he is here in the yard. I'm like, yes, ma.
The one who raised us.
Yeah, definitely. So it was a wonderful experience.
Can you take us through a song that holds a very special meaning to you amongst the songs that you've recorded in your body of work?
Just one.
We can go through some, but there has to be that one.
So there's a song I did called Farewell. It's called RAD, and then Farewell in brackets. That was a song I did when my father passed away. It was literally supposed to be what is this now? It was supposed to be the message we were sending to him. I was supposed to have read that at the funeral, right? But because unfortunately being a musician does not switch off, unfortunately, or being a creative does not switch off, I took that paper and I recited it and changed it into lyrics, and it still was the same message I was trying to. It was my goodbye to him, but I decided to now make it into a song. That was probably the most painful song I ever made, and also the most personal, if I can put it like that. Yeah, RAD is probably at the top of my hill.
Having said that, you feel like the farewell that you've given him through that rendition was something that will make him, an ancestor to say that my son has.
Look, by the time he passed on, I think he had my one of my songs as his ringtone. So you can just imagine as a kid that tried to be a musician and was hustling to be on a level that he was not at the time, to have your own parent now receiving their calls using your song. That was big for me. And when I made this song, to be honest with you, I somehow believe he was listening to me when I was making it at the same time. Because that time when you can feel somebody's energy, even though when they're not there. That was how I felt most of the time when I was making that song. So I do believe he's proud, and I think even the music that came after that became very healing for a lot of people. Because that song, I remember there's even a guy that came to me and said, "You know what? If you can you remake this song but use it for my dad?" Because I never got to say goodbye to him. And I told him I could, but unfortunately the message will be now tainted because this was specific to that person. And unfortunately, I don't know your experience with your dad, and we'll never be in a space where we can talk about the two different people in the same vein.
I'm picking up that you had. Did you want to come in, George?
No. So was the chair?
Oh, okay. I'm picking up that you had a very special relationship with your dad.
So the man that raised me was a legally, if they can put it like that, my uncle, but he was my dad because he raised me, right?
A dad is a person
Yeah,
who raises
yeah.
you,
So
no politics.
he did a lot for me as a person. He's the reason I went into a special school because he was knowledgeable about it, made sure that I had what I needed as a person. So I was just also fortunate enough that towards the ending times, it was I got to be home for a lengthy time. I got to chill with him. I got to because I was not home all my life because of boarding school. I was home for the holidays. That's it. But this time around, it was COVID. I was working from Limpopo. I was home every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And days where I would have not been, probably maybe at a gig somewhere, the first person to call me early in the morning around 5, 6 would be him to check if I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
That's the person that I wrote that song for.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say, even if I was to try and remake it for somebody else, it wouldn't feel the same, is because the relationship was that deep. Like he was that guy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he guided you through your schooling, he raised you,
Mhm.
and therefore it is automatic that you're going to pay homage to
So-
his life.
It was not even automatic, man.
Mm.
You know those things that just feels right.
Yeah.
That's what that song felt like.
Mm.
That song was made all in its all entirety in the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Zero.
There was vision and passion.
I did that song. I literally, and my producer, Mr. Adroid Beats, will tell you, I recorded the full song with a sample.
Mm-hmm.
So he sent me a sample, probably about 1 minute for the beat,
Mm-hmm.
and I kept chopping and extending so that it becomes a full song.
Mm-hmm.
He had to make the beat from the song already completed.
Mm-hmm.
That's how in my feelings I was about it. That's how in my creative mind I was about it. And that's also how I was so eager to finish it, you know. I
Mm-hmm.
even there was a part that I was doing and I was like, it doesn't feel right. Called my little sister to come and just sing one line
Mm-hmm.
so that it matched what I was the emotions and vision I was trying to portray with it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Let's track back to when we were talking about Dex song on alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we find a lot of creatives, more especially in the music space, though you'll find it in the sports as well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of creatives abusing, drugs, abusing alcohol. How do you evade such temptations to find yourself in a space whereby it might taint your artistry?
So I have this thing that I believe about energy, right? So wherever I'm recording, in most cases, if I'm recording my music, it will be at my studio, and I never allow anyone in there because the energy that I want is the same energy that I came into the industry with. Unfortunately, social media has shown countless times that people get influenced by what they see, right? People get to see that this artist is in studio and is smoking or is doing this or is drinking, and they think that's the way to go. I've been singing almost all of my life without any of those things.
Mm,
Why would I need to change now?
mm, mm, mm.
So I keep it like that. I just remind myself, hey, my dude, you came into this thing 9 years when you were 9 years and you sang with
Without needing any
probably
influence.
probably juice back in the day. or
Drink of
just
hope.
yeah, or drink, or even what's this thing called now, or just water. Um, so why change now?
Mm,
Because I don't feel like I'm pressured to change. I feel like where I record or where I find myself being creative still allows me to be myself.
mhm.
So why change?
So, what's the day-to-day lifestyle like outside of music for you or outside of your art?
So me, um, I work as well. I'm a stakeholder and sponsorship specialist at Sanlam. So any given day for me, I always say, if I touched one life somehow, even if it's I'm walking and I see somebody that needs bread, I won't. I rather just buy you the bread than give you the money, right?
Because you might do bad things with
So
that money.
I'll buy you the bread. I don't need you to say thank you. I just need you to take the bread, and you are fed that day. So my life is simple. How you saw me come in, that's literally it. Nothing changes. I chill with my kid and my person. Sometimes with my little brother because he visits me a lot. I play a lot of games with my little brother, even though he wins too many times to count. We'll fix that one day.
I'll challenge you on that as well once you've fixed it.
We'll fix that one day. But other than that, that's literally me. Simple. If you meet me, you won't get any I don't want to talk to you vibes. I'm for everybody. I don't want to try to be something that I'm not. You won't find me all fleshy every day. I still like wearing my flip flops, my shorts, and just go to the mall. That's literally it. You find me with my mom when I'm in Limpopo. So the benefit of being raised by my uncle was that now I had two mothers and two fathers, right? My biological dad passed away as well in 2022. So I lost both my dads. I now have two mothers only. The one that raised me is like my best friend. So you can hear when I'm home, you'll hear even the neighbors, "Oh, your best friend is back." You know, that's just me. I don't change for nothing. Unless change is required, I don't like. For instance, if now God decided today I am blessing you with all this stardom, I'm making an example. Obviously, you adjust your life, but you don't change. You just make adjustments. That's me. You bump into me, you'll think we were still sitting here. Yeah.
So do you feel like your purpose here is to serve?
No, definitely. I always tell people that if the music didn't speak to anybody or touch anybody in any form, I didn't do it. I didn't do my job. If it was just a song that just sat there and no one looked at it or felt somehow about it, then I didn't do my job. So my job is to talk to my God, however I talk to him, and relay my feelings about any other situation the way I see it, and hopefully touches one soul. Yeah.
And then fellow artists in the community.
Okay.
Are they empathetic towards the cause, and do they understand the journey and the path that you're on?
I think a lot do, right? But then obviously we can never be the same. Right? I think the best thing we can do for each other is just to appreciate each other for what we are. I would never be the type that says you shouldn't make this type of music or make that type of music, because you might not even like the type of music that I make, right? The whole point of you being a person with a voice, or a person who a lot of people look up to, is to make sure that you drive a positive energy towards everybody else. You make sure that how they came into listening to you is not the same way that they left. If they came in there with pain, let them at least live with some sort of relief. Yeah.
So what's your hope in the media? You know, the media industry has got a certain way of portraying people. What's your hope for people living with albinism and how they are portrayed in the media space?
I really just pray that they get to a point where they just get equal opportunities. They get treated like everybody else. There's nothing that is saying you are treated different or anything like that. I wish everybody else can get to enjoy just being a person. That's all. Really enjoy your life without ever feeling like you have to pivot when somebody else looks at you.
You have to shrink around people because people view you in a certain manner.
Definitely.
I think that's one of the key important things of people living with albinism. They don't have to shrink around you just because you are there.
I'm not shrinking for anybody.
Do not. And I think that alone, do you think will make you look, kids will look up to you? Do you think that kids will look up to you as a role model for having that kind of confidence and occupying spaces?
You just said something that I met this man about 2 weeks back, right? He has a child living with albinism. This child is literally the size of my hand. He's very small. And this man just said he wanted his child to meet me because he was very inspired by me as a person. And I looked at it and I thought, you know what, if regardless of whatever I would have done it with my life, if I get to witness or experience this kind of love from a parent that has a child that is this small, and they want that child to just meet me as a person, to meet me because I guess we look alike from a color perspective, but they can look up to as a person, as an individual. I'm happy. I would have probably I'm fulfilled when it's like that. Yeah.
So what are the projects that maybe you're currently working on?
So right now I'm busy with my 10th anniversary album that I'm working with. I'm doing it in collaboration with Samro. I was fortunate enough to be one of the 500 individuals that received Samro grant this year.
Recipient.
Yeah, I was a recipient this year. All thanks to a gentleman by the name of Romeo Maboko. Unfortunately, he's since passed on. He never got to witness when I got the email that I actually made.
May he rest. So he'll be watching over for the project to go through.
Definitely. So that's what I'm working on right now. I just want to make sure that I put it together in a way that both me, everybody in the team, and Romeo as well will be proud. Funny how a Romeo helped another Romeo.
That's ironic.
Yeah, and at the same time, Romeo is actually my real name, and Romeo was his real name. So it was, I guess, by God's design that we also met. So yeah, definitely going to be another one of those projects that I'm very, very, very proud of to give to the people.
Having said that, you're putting out a project, and are you going to put it out before the end of the year?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You're putting out a project. Are you planning to do any collaborations on the project?
So I've got some collaborations in there. I've two I've Feezy, I have Cashflow, I have Proheed. This is probably the most collaborated project I've ever worked on, especially with people from home. If you look at my album that I did previously, you'd probably find that I had about 3-4 collaborations in there. I have Chris Bang in there, and obviously I have 2 other collaborations that can't talk about at the moment, but are gonna be great as well. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what's coming.
What's your vision for the future in the arts industry?
Equal opportunities. I also very much pray, probably on a daily basis, for there to be even more access for my people from home. I mean,
many people from Limpopo?
Yeah, not even Limpopo, but home. When I say home, I mean Venda.
Oh, okay, cool.
If you look at it musically, we have our queen that is done tremendous in the industry, right? We have Una Rems, who is a Grammy winner, by the way.
Yeah, with Black Coffee.
Yes.
Yeah.
So imagine if we had probably another 40, 50 people that are we can say with the same breath. Would be amazing, right? I mean, the Sepedi Kilobedu area, they're doing amazing. Lecompo has taken over. I'm praying that we also get to a point where we say Venda has taken over. Yeah, that is my long-term vision, to just see us in the kind of stardom that we can inspire the people coming after us to aspire to be bigger than what we would have achieved. I mean, I look at it and be like, you know what? One day I want to see another Makazi, somebody that would have done it at her level from home. That would be inspiring as well. Somebody that can say, I also have a Grammy Award. Hey, I would shame. You would see it every day. If I had a Grammy, every picture I take, just by the way, Grammy Award winning.
You'd brag for days.
Yeah, definitely. Everywhere I go, I even t-shirts,
Ringa
Grammy winning artist, everything.
Yeah.
Even car brand, everything. Because I'm that proud of my people. I'm really that proud of what Venda has right now. I just wish we can have even more.
Do you produce music like for other artists?
I write. I executive produce. I don't physically do. I have producers that make beats and such, and engineers, obviously. But the number one engineer that I work with is a guy from Madombija. His name is Adroid Beats Muchuchu, for those that know him personally. But one of the most humble people I know for me, and who has been with me since 2015 to making music. We've been making music together since 2015. I met him through a couple of people, obviously. I had met another one called Robza, which is Ropapuru from our area, Chivasa. So I have people that can do things, but I know when it's my time. Like, to make sure that a song sounds a certain way, that's me. I get in the studio, I tell you what needs to work, what doesn't, how a voice needs to sound, or how high it needs to go, how low. That's executive producing. I do exactly what DJ Khaled does without all of the money and the Maybach that he has.
Having said that, do you plan when you in future? Because with awards like the Grammys, they always look for that unique element. You look at Mambazo, the Lady Smith Black Mambazos. The reason that they have consistently been recognized on the Grammy floor, on the gramophone floor, is because of the uniqueness of their music.
Yes.
You know, in Venda, where you say that you're passionate about, we've got Chikona, Zinanga, let me just say it's Inanga. Do you plan to fuse that music into that work that you're going to be producing in the future to make sure that it get recognized in a unique way on an international stage?
So for me, nothing is off the table. If I'm making a song and something, because unfortunately I'm one of those people that music plays in their head. So if I'm making a song right now and I can hear something else playing in my head that would sound perfect, I go for it. If Chikona becomes one of those, I go for it. I know some people have sampled it already, but I believe that whatever I'm doing at the time and something that is from home influences how I want to attack it, I find ways to put it in there. Sorry.
What advice would you give to young artists?
The biggest one is stay true to yourself. Let your art be your mouthpiece. Do not by any means deviate from what you came into the industry to do. Do not let it be about the glitz and the glamour, because we tend to unfortunately lose ourselves in that. Let you, who is the real person behind whatever you are singing, be the driving force through everything, because that's the only way. Whatever success you have, you will be happy with. Until, that's the only thing. Stay true to yourself so that whatever you get as success or wherever you go, you can then sit and say, you know what, I did that. I never wavered. I never tried to change myself. I stayed true to who I am, and I still did that. Yeah.
How would you want people to remember your work when they say Romeo the Great White, which is already a brilliant name because it puts you up there? How would you want them to remember your work?
Someone that wanted the world to embrace both their happiness, their pain, their sorrows, and still find a way to rejoice. Somebody that just wanted to bring peace into the world. Remember me as somebody that made music that was not just about glorifying things, but also about healing wherever we can. Remember me for all of the things that I've said in my songs that somehow became your story. Remember me for how I made sure that I shared my life with you consistently, and you still somehow found yourself in that. If you are to remember anything about Romeo the Great White, is every song will talk to you regardless. If you were to sit down here for a full hour, just my music only, no way you would say I didn't talk to you. That's what I want people to remember.
And as Romeo, the artist, how do you navigate the business space of the creative industry?
I think I took time to learn that. Fortunately, I had people that already knew what they were doing. So it's two different. I call it two different entities, but the same person. How I will approach it will be the same mentality as Romeo the Great White would if he had any other business. But at the same time, I look at the business aspect as literally not the driving force, but something that enables me to continuously create. If I get, I always say to guys, if you get the business correct, that means you don't have to worry about where you're gonna create your next song, how you're gonna create it, how you're gonna give it to the people, the visuals, and all of those things. So my business part is to make sure that I enable Romeo the Great White to still sing without feeling like he's putting himself under pressure. Yeah.
And any other thing that you've been involved in the creative industry besides doing music?
I wanted to act at some point. I don't.
You should still pursue it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember we were supposed to be doing a project, but unfortunately, just it never came to life. But that I love the media space as well. But I love the I've not started it, but I love the podcast space simply because you get to authentically see people that we don't generally see in the limelight. They get to portray a different person, but when you get to sit down and just have a one-on-one conversation, you get to know them properly. So I love talking to people. I love to get to understand how they came about and all of those things. So podcasting probably in my future might happen. I just love talking about the industry for different aspects, different reasons, and different spaces, just to see where people are, just to understand what they're doing and what they hope to do in the future. Because obviously, the industry is very vast. There's so many things that we don't know as people, but other people do know. I love learning new things. And I love the people that we get to influence in any way. The people that we get to see saying they love what this that we I really just genuinely love conversating with them for me to understand how they came about Romeo the Great White, what was happening for them to find me. So media wise, I love just the whole space. I don't think I would be a good presenter though.
You've got a great voice. Why not? And you're not really that shy.
I can radio presenter. Yes, I can do it.
You've got a great voice. Take it from me, who's a seasoned broadcaster. Your voice can do.
So yeah, maybe radio, but not TV. Hey, TV is a lot.
You are from Venda.
Yes.
Ramondo.
Yes.
Tell us the landscape of the village that you come from.
So I'm from Romondo Chibare. That's all the way behind Ufimratawa in our language. The landscape is very cool. I don't want to lie to you. Because I got to a place where everybody now knows me like that, it's a bit weird when people now ask for a picture, because I still like my walks, the area that I'm from is all the way towards Mapate, where there's a prefix there, who's a gigantic star, obviously. But the landscape is great. I mean, it's very surreal when you're walking or you are driving past and you hear people jamming to a song that you made. And they see you and they be like, no, that's his song. You understand? So I love where I'm from, and probably will always say that so many people that came from there will still tell you the same thing. It's a beautiful space. I mean, a Killer G is from Romondo. There was Face Boy at some
It's
point.
got serious buzz.
No, say Killer G is on a different.
It's got serious buzz. Once when I met him when I was still a broadcaster working for Parapara in Polokwane.
Okay.
And when I was talking to him, I made it clear to him that your bars are beyond great.
No. He's amazing. He doesn't live very far from me. So getting to it's very. I always find myself asking myself, is this you, Vele? There's people that we never thought would talk to, like Nje, but now I'm talking to, because I know he's from. I know his house. That's how close it is. And I walk there and I'm like, that's Killer G's house. How did I get here?
Where I get to hang out with one of those lyricists.
Exactly. Like when other artists look at you like a peer, and you find that these people were larger than life before for you, it's surreal. It's surreal. So Romondo is great, man. I don't wanna. There's nothing I can say about it that I don't think. Romondo is just. It's amazing. I think we are moving very, very good there.
Too much sacred sites in Venda. We've got heritage sites. Where's the place that you love the most? Not really jamming places for parties, but landscapes wise.
Chachingo.
You love the Chachingo potholes.
Yeah.
Those are majestic.
But those are very. I'm trying to find the word that is. They're in a way they're weird, but at the same time amazing. How a pot is pouring into another pot, and there's no end to it. That gets me every single time.
It's just God's gift to the world.
And obviously, there's also like your Chipise, where there's hot water that have no geyser. Like Venda has things that
mystical.
Exactly. Like I mean, in Romondo right now, there's a our mountain, right? If you go in there, there's a cave like structure inside the mountain that looks man-made, right? But it's just stones, and it is so nice. Like I go to areas that I thought, how is this even possible? Like they say, Tombolono Fema Venda, that we don't know where that's coming from, but it's there. And no one can explain it, but it's amazing.
And the funny part is some of us grew up, Rolly Samera almost every
day.
It was a phenomenon when people talk about, we're like, yeah, we stay on the mountain. It's here, it's got volcano and whatnot.
Yes, like things like that. They are so amazing to see that they exist, but you don't know exactly what to explain. You can't explain what you see. I mean, there was a tour guide. This guy was explaining the different. So he says, there by Chachingo, right? You see rock formations. And he says, no, that was actually a crocodile. Apparently, there was some volcanic thing that happened there. Now, some fossils are still there. I'm like, how do you know this? And you question things but then you be like, but that looks like a crocodile. He's right. Things like that, I don't know how to explain them to this day, but I still love to see what that whole setup, and the fact that it was not done by a person, crazy.
Just the creator's workshop.
Exactly. And obviously the Kruger is right there by us. We literally live 2 minutes from it. The majestic animals that we get told that, go to a zoo, you'll see. We see there, you can literally drive there and back, and like nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's how. And I remember I was with my little brother one time. We're driving in the Kruger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then tracker calls and says, "Guys, you're in Mozambique.
Mm-hmm.
Is the car stolen?" I'm like, dude,
We're
how
right here.
were we in Venda just now and now
We're right
when
here.
we're in Mozambique? So things like that about Venda will always be, they will always baffle me. But I know, because it was because people always call it the Garden of Eden, because we have all the fruits. Hey, my man, come, you will see all the fruits.
I sure will.
There is no season for fruits in Venda, they are just there.
Wild fruits as well.
Yes.
You don't know how, but they're just there. Like the way we have so many things that you get to see some things that we have in Venda in movies, and people are so amazed by that and be like, but it's there. We saw it. Thabani ya Makonde, unofuna mulenje wa Mwari. Like things like that people are going all, wow, this. Somebody walked past it just now and be like, are we sure though? Because it's a footprint, but we don't know who it is. It's amazing. Ngoma ya Rungundu. Like, who plays that thing? Because it just plays by itself. You understand? So Venda has all of it. And I will forever be amazed by the things we have, even though I live there. It's your, my man.
Tongoma,
Here.
it plays. It's drums. There.
You can hear at night it's playing, but there's no one there.
But it's drums sound.
Yes, it's a list.
Stories of our ancestors.
Hey, you hear things.
Amazing.
Romeo the Great White, thank you very much for gracing the SEC podcast.
No, it was a pleasure. I loved the conversation, to be honest with you. It didn't feel like a question and answer type of situation. So thank you for that, because it is always authentic, and it was always very refreshing when you just literally just sit down, have a conversation, get to see different perspectives. So this is what when I said I was watching, this is what I was talking about. I love conversation. I'm not one for you ask and I answer. I like the interaction where we talk about things, get excited about things that not normal people will get excited about, things like that. So it was very much an honor to be here.
Kezo, it's Romeo the Great White. Subscribe, like, comment. It's the SEC podcast. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Kezo.